YouTube? Topaz Yates back for another review, and this one's that Nas The Lost Tapes 2, and I'm giving this one the green light here, dude, because this was pretty dope, as it does somewhat pick up where The Lost Tapes 1 left off when you look at the broad basis of what these two projects ultimately are, because all they are compilation songs that Nas decided, I'm not going to put this on the album, I'm going to just throw this towards this project here, which I'm glad he does this because there are songs within each of these projects that are fire. And these songs are so much better than these album filler joints that he does on his normal albums. So I'm glad that we're finally getting a chance to hear all of this stuff, dude. But yet ultimately you gotta question, what is it you are looking for in songs in order for these quality tracks to be leftovers from other albums that weren't even all that great, you feel me? And the dope thing about it is, Nas came out saying that there could possibly be more of these to come. And here's the thing you gotta understand about your favorite artists and all that, man. Even though you don't hear anything from them for years or things of that nature, dude, doesn't mean that he's not out there recording and making music. They just don't feel as though what they have is up to par for what they're trying to release. So I am all for more of these to ultimately come out, dude. I'm not gonna say that it's like a classic project or anything, because compilations of this manner, when they're not really supposed to be tied in together, just thrown together, you can always see the flaws of individual songs and understand why some songs didn't make it to a project. But yet there's always that one song that I guess Nas himself slept on that he just didn't put on a project, which makes these all the more worthwhile. Especially when you're looking at these songs and the producer credits, you dig? Like, some of these songs cost way too much just based off the producer for Nas to just sit on it, but yet Nas is Nas, so he can do whatever he wants to do. Like how he got the RZA on that Tanasia track, where that track is complete garbage. That's actually one of my least favorite songs off this entire project, but yet you don't get the RZA for cheap. I don't care if you Nas. How he got the Alchemist on that Never Ends track, where that brings me to one core issue that I have with this project. Even though he doesn't do it a lot, there's still a handful of instances throughout this project where he's quoting a bunch of Biggie bars and shouting out Biggie. And I understand Biggie was the legend and all of that stuff, but yet these are all random songs that he recorded over the years. And for this project to have this handful of Biggie references, you kind of got to see that Nas must rap about Biggie a whole lot. It is what it is. As on this song, he did the 7 Mac 11s, I got 8 38s, and then you got that Vernon family that was produced by Pharrell, which that didn't come cheap. But yet, that song, he got the S Cargo, My Cargo. And the last track I want to mention before I get into my favorite songs off this project would be that Who Are You? This came in just under my favorite songs because that hook and how Nas is kind of flowing on it was a little bit dull, you dig, but what he's saying is some real stuff that I feel as though we definitely have to mention, because what he's talking about is the quote-unquote intellectuals that's out here that'll try to go to the hood and tell people how they need to be living, even though they don't live their life and don't know what they have to sacrifice in order to just survive. And he's also talking about the old people, like I Marched in Selma type old dudes who want to pass judgment on the youth and all of this stuff, man. Like, he's making a great point that you cannot try to tell us and the youth how to live our lives. Just because you marched with Dr. King back in the day don't give you the street cred to go ahead and talk shadily about who we are right here now. And most of these people who do that, they are aligned with the Democratic Party and all of that stuff, man. They are ultimately not for the black community, as the black community out here are trying to get reparations in this game. But yet these old people and these intellectuals, quote unquote, man, a lot of them are siding with the Democratic Party, and they're trying to say you shouldn't ask for such things, like you betraying all of us. I just wish that it came together better, because that definitely had the potential of being a really great track. But yet, let's go ahead and jump into my absolute favorite songs off this, starting with that No Bad Energy. As this song seems to have been recorded back in 2016, produced by A-Rap Music and Swizz Beatz together, and it came together really well. As this is mainly a lifestyle rap type song that Nas typically does, because Nas, he does deliver punchlines here and there, especially in this track. Like how he said, yo, I chase the demons outdoors so I can air them out. That was pretty cool right there of a punchline bar, but that's not the entire focus that Nas does. This is more him talking about his life and doing it in a lyrical manner when it comes to wordplay, when it comes to his vocab and things like that. Like how he said to all of these rappers out here who's never sold crack but they rhyming about it in they rhymes, how they shooting in they rhymes, but really what they're doing is rapping about his life and he didn't even notice it. And how he's talking about the whole Uchi Wally, like behind the scenes right there, talking about how Jungle made that hit and he blew the whole check. Like he's ultimately rapping about his life and telling us things that we somewhat want to know in a complex and respectable manner that can be equated to bars. Not so much the punchline bars, but yet bars nonetheless. My next favorite track would be that Lost freestyle that was produced by Static Selector. Honestly, this may be my favorite one out of all of them, you dig? But yet, this joint was fire as it's more lifestyle type rap, but yet he's saying some slick things in there as well. Like how he's talking about you pick of the weak rappers. How could you think that you can go against me? Like you can't trick a lion to go for the bait without a tranquilizer. Like slick little things like that. Or how he said he's taking from the rich man's plate, he's gonna kick in the door because it's war between the bloodsuckers and the poor. But the last shall be first, that's universal law. Like solid stuff here. And my last favorite song was that Beautiful Life joint, where this was produced by No ID, as it's a sample that's been a commonly used one, and my favorite one would be from when Nipsey Hussle did it with Key to the City, but yet this one was still pretty solid here, as this comes off as recorded back in 2012 for the Life is Good album, but yet didn't make that, and I do not know why. That Life is Good album was hot, but this could have definitely fit on there. As he's really going into his baby mama drama in the first verse with Khalees, as he's talking about how she's trying to get fame by doing the book and all of that, while second and third verse is more talking about the lifestyle. My favorite punchline being that Stevie Wonder hollered at him and told him that he's in his corner, like he may be blind, but yet he can see the pain that's going through the young performer. Like that was a pretty slick bar. Overall, a solid project that rides. Now, there is a handful of songs on there that I just didn't like at all, you dig? But yet, for the most part, you got a bunch of solid songs. Some just wasn't up to par to be on an album that I could see. And some were incredibly slept on by Nas that deserved the slot somewhere. But I'm glad that they got onto this individual project, man. I give this joint an 8.5 out of 10. Definitely go ahead and peep that joint on out. I hope you enjoyed the show. You can follow me at Twitter up there. And you can go to downloadpass.com, that's down there, to read today's article.